All right, guys, it is 11:03. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road. First, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for taking the time to show up this morning. Real estate is a very interesting business. You guys have all gotten into this and you're all at various levels. I know some folks on here this morning are not even licensed. Some of you have your licenses and are with a brokerage. Some of you are still um, and those that are with a brokerage are happy, some are not. I mean, everybody's at different levels, right? So what this webinar for this morning is to give you some guidance on what you can do in your business, how you should get it set up. And I've named it Building a Successful Real Estate Business, step number one. So I like to refer to our business like we're baking a cake. So for somebody like me who is not that great at cooking things, I have to follow all the directions on the box, and the box gives me step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which tells me all the ingredients and gives me an order in which to do things in order to make a very amazing cake. Now, if I follow the directions right out of the box, the cake is great. If I do not follow the directions step by step, but I miss an ingredient, or I skip a step, or I leave something in for too long and don't follow exactly how they have lined that cake baking process out for me, then it turns out that I make a horrible cake. So that's what this is for. This is to give you guys a recipe for building your real estate business from the beginning to make it very, very successful. So that is step one. Again, my name is Jeremy Smith. I am out of Fort Worth, Texas, and I am with eXp Realty. I'm the team leader of the Smith team. Couple things, guys. What we're going to cover today, we're going to go over setting that solid foundation. We're going to talk about how important a foundation is and give some illustrations of what exactly a foundation is, and hopefully they will relate to this business, to you, and make that mental connection. We're going to go over mindset and what mindset is required to create success. And that's not just in real estate, but in whatever you're trying to do. Mindset is absolutely critical. I learned that the hard way. I'm going to share that with you guys. We're going to go over goal setting and planning, why that is important. I'm sure you guys have all heard the phrase, if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail, right? And it's absolutely true. This business, believe it or not, is very predictable. A lot of people will say it's a roller coaster and there's ups and downs and there's highs and lows. And to some extent, it's true. But however, those that have been in the business for a long time and they're super successful, they have found a way to make their business predictable. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that through goal setting and planning. And also at the end, those that stick around, we're going to talk about my most effective door knocking script. This particular script, in 1 hour worth of door knocking, this script closed 6 deals for me a few years back. And I still have clients that I'm working with periodically from that 1 hour. It has been super effective and it is a game changer for those that want to door knock. So I'll share that with you guys at the end. So feel free, guys, to post your questions in the Q&A box. So there is a box down somewhere that will allow you to post your questions. So if you have questions throughout this, I think I've got everybody on mute so nobody can verbally talk, but you can raise your hand, you can post questions, and at the very end, I'm going to spend as much time as I need to spend going over all those questions, making sure that I answer all of them as thoroughly as possible for y'all. So I think it's important for you guys to know a little bit about me, who I am. So I'm going to spend a few minutes just going over my background so you guys can see my story, a little bit about my story. So, and the whole point in this is to inspire you, right? Because we all have different stories. We all have different challenges. Our lives have all taken totally different paths. And I want to share mine with you guys in hopes that it inspires you. So this is me, this little guy in the middle of this photo here with a hula hoop. So obviously those are my parents and my little sister. So I was born to a interracial couple back in 1979 when interracial couples weren't really that popular. And shortly after this picture, you know, I was about 5 years old and my parents divorced. My mom moved my sister and I to California, and there she raised us as a single mom. So we faced a lot of challenges in the fact that she wasn't wealthy, you know, very poor. We grew up very rough. And the Southern California area, kind of spent a lot of time growing up in the streets. And I think I counted about 17 schools that I went to growing up. Same for my sister. So it was definitely a challenge. We didn't have a cush lifestyle growing up. This is me on the far right here. I look totally different today, but back in high school, I surrounded myself with people who had similar experiences to me, and we had a lot of influences on us at that time, and we kind of followed the wrong things, got involved in a lot of the wrong things that weren't really healthy for us: drugs, alcohol, violence, girls. Um, had a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. We had a lot of fun, but we caused a lot of trouble, and we got into a lot of trouble when I was 16 years old, 16 or 17. I think 16, almost 17. I got into a lot of trouble that year. I was arrested probably 4 times. I faced 4 years in California's juvenile corrections for a charge that I got at that time. And you can see the look on my face. I wasn't the happiest kid. So life was really panning out to be full of trouble. At 17 years old, I met this young lady in the bottom left here. Her name is Vanessa, and she's my wife. Met her at 16. In the midst of all my troubled days at 17, this young man was born into our lives. We were in high school. His name is Jeremiah. He's almost 24 now. But still in high school, wasn't graduated yet, had my first child, and realized that I needed to make some sort of a change. So after I graduated high school, I enlisted in the United States Navy, and I spent 3 years, 4 years, 3.5, 4 years there in the Navy as an aircraft mechanic. Traveled the world, really grew up a lot, got out of that environment that I was in, which really helped to start change my mindset, build a lot of confidence. And as I moved up in rank, I eventually moved out and on to other things. So I got out of the Navy, had some other jobs. I actually got into real estate in 2003 ish, 2000, yeah, about 2003, 2004. Got my real estate license in California, and I started to learn the real estate process. Didn't learn it very well. The market was easy at the time. We had a market crash, and where I was at in the high desert of California in 2006, and things went downhill. Oh, forgot about that slide. I actually got married in 2018. Been married ever since. So got a job working for BNSF Railway in 2007. Was a huge blessing. My real estate business failed. I was in debt, lost everything, filed for bankruptcy, filed for foreclosure, and was going to start over financially. So 2015, my son got a scholarship to Texas A&M, a Navy scholarship to Texas A&M. I couldn't afford to pay for his room and board, so he had to get a scholarship, or he had to get student loans. They wouldn't let me sign for the student loans because I had the bankruptcy and foreclosure. That was a turning point for me. That was the moment when I realized I was failing my family and I needed to do something different. Got my real estate license in 2015 in Texas. I met this man. His name is Joshua Smith. He is the owner, founder of the GSD Mode podcast, and he's got a great coaching program. He ended up being a good friend of mine, great mentor. He absolutely changed my perspective on things in my life, listening to his coaching and going through that. So big part of my life was Joshua Smith. Got into business in 2016, which was my first full year in the business. I was still working for the BNSF Railway. That year, I closed 41 transactions as a part-time agent. I got the Rising Star Award, Gold Club Award. I was about $1,000 short of the 100% Club for Remax that year. I was one of the highest producing agents in the brokerage, especially for being that new. So that was 2016, actually. I got the award in January 2017. So that was 2016, 2017, closed 78 transactions. Moved on to EXP, 2018, my first year there. In about 4 months, became an icon agent. Got my cap, which is $16,000. Got that rewarded back in company stock. At the time, the stock was worth about $9,000 or $9. I'm sorry, $9 a share, something around there. May have been $7. Today it's worth $54 a share, and I got $16,000 worth of shares. So crazy profit on that for doing nothing. And this is why I do what I do. I think it's important for everybody to understand their why, understand what drives them, help us get through those hard times. This is my family. The young lady on the far right is my wife, Vanessa. We've been married since we were 18 years old. She was actually 17. So we're going on 23 years of marriage. And these are my 4 kids. This is why I do what I do. These are the reasons why I push so hard to make sure that I am being responsible, being the best that I could be, and showing up at my absolute best every single day, even when I don't want to. So it's important that we make that connection with our why. So enough about me. Um, we're going to wrap it up. It's not enough, I guess. We're going to wrap it up. So here's my stats. So 2020, I do average 75 home sales a year. I have not made less in GCI of, I have not made less than 500,000 in GCI since 2017, which was the first year I breached that number. I am a team leader. I'm an icon agent with EXP. I do own 4 rental properties. I have flip houses and multiple revenue streams. So my life has changed a lot since getting into real estate. My salary at the railroad was about $105,000. So doing it much different now. And I'm really focused on building revenue streams and other aspects and gaining wealth so that I'm not hustling every day for the next 30 years. So I want to help you guys do that. I'm going to show you what to do. So let's talk about foundation. So the foundation of your real estate business is probably the most important step that you're going to take in this whole thing. This quote from Gordon Hinckley is so true. It says, you can't build a great building on a weak foundation. You must have a solid foundation if you're going to have a strong superstructure. When I think of superstructure, the first thing that comes into my mind are the World Trade Centers that were destroyed back in 2001. So the reason why that comes to mind is when they were clearing those buildings out and clearing the site, you got to see photos and videos really of the foundation of that building, and it was massive. I mean, it was so impressive just seeing what they built there, and then going to the memorial and walking through and seeing all the photos and the evidence. And that foundation had to hold a 105-story building. So it they started there, they built this massive foundation, and then erected a structure on top of it, which stood up to everything until September 1st, 2001. So our foundations are absolutely critical. Your home you live in, wherever, whatever building you go into, always start with the foundation, and so does your real estate business. So here is really the foundation. To understand how the real estate business works, if you guys have a pen and paper, I do recommend you take notes on this. So this is what I call the real estate sales funnel. This is your foundation. Understanding this is really going to impact how you run your business at every single level. So if you guys have ever heard of a hopper is something that, like for instance, in the plastic industry, they make little tiny plastic parts or big ones. Either way, they have a big cylinder called a hopper that they put all the plastic granules into, and that produces a little bit at a time out of the bottom, and whatever shoots out of the bottom, that's what makes whatever product. So a lot of things go into this hopper, a little bit comes out, which is the outcome. It's the product. So in our real estate sales funnel or our hopper, the first thing we start off with are activities. So you've probably heard of a lot of these activities, and those of you that are doing them, you may already know about this, but you may not be doing them to the best of your ability, using the best of your time with them. So activities, what they are, is it's something that you're doing, an action that you're taking that should have a desired result, right? So for instance, in regular life, if you are driving to the store, your activity is driving, and your end result is making it to your destination. So there's a start and a finish. There's a purpose for the driving. Same with your activities. Some common activities you can do are door knocking, open houses, cold calling, calling expireds, calling for sell by owners, circle prospecting, internet lead generation, Facebook. I mean, there's all kinds of different activities that could be done out there, but each one of those activities should not just be done randomly. For instance, I see this a lot at open houses where I walk into an open house, there's an agent in the house somewhere, back in the back hiding, and There's no sign-in sheet. There's no flyers. There's nothing. They're just doing an activity, but there's no purpose. It's just, hey, I'm going to open this house. I'm going to sit in it for 2 to 3 hours. I'm going to let people come in, but I'm not going to gain anything from it unless I really hit it off with somebody and able to make a connection, which is pretty rare. So we have systems in places and systems and processes in place to make sure that that activity is done well and is done purposeful. So these activities are designed to create leads. So then what is a lead? A lead is somebody that's inside of your database that you have their contact information and you can now follow up with them. So most importantly, or most commonly, phone, email address, first and last name, maybe even social media links if you have those as well. If you have a great CRM, it'll get those for you. And if you have questions about CRMs, what they are, let me know and we'll go over that. So activities are always meant to lead to lead. So in the instance of that open house, for us, when we do the open house, there's a sign-in sheet. It's staged in a specific location of the house to make sure that we have at least a 90% sign-in ratio. And then from there, we're able to take those leads, put them into our database, and follow up with them. So the whole reason for doing an activity is to create a lead. The whole process or the whole purpose of a lead is to then set an appointment with that lead. And a lot of what we do is measured by the appointments that we set. So, for instance, there's a metric that says for every 4 appointments you set, you will get 1 closing. So, if we know you need 100 closings over the course of a year, then you need to set 400 appointments over the course of a year. And then you just reverse engineer that to find out eventually how many appointments you need to set every month, every week, and every day in order to go on and conduct and create opportunities through appointments. So activities are there to lead to leads. Leads go into your database, become part of your business, and are there to set appointments. Now, once you set an appointment, the reality is not all appointments are conducted. You can get ghosted, you can get rescheduled, you can get canceled altogether. Who knows? That's why the number is 4 to 1. Every 4 appointments you set will result in the 1 closing, because not all appointments you go on will get conducted. So then let's, drop down to the appointments conducted. Some types of appointments you can conduct will be a buyer consultation or a listing presentation. Those are really the 2 key appointments that you're going to be conducting. I guess showing houses and all those things could be considered appointments too, but in this funnel, they're not. So we'll talk about buyer consultations and listing. We'll refer to buyer consultations and listing presentations when we talk about appointments conducted. So on that appointment, there's a specific purpose of that. Why are you there? Why are you there to talk to that buyer? Well, you're there to educate them. You're there to figure out what their goals and wants and needs are, to help define exactly what they're looking for, what price point they want to be in, and to convert them from a lead into a client. And the same thing with the listing. When you go on a listing appointment, you're there to share information, interview for their job, show them why you're the best person, and walk away with that listing. So every appointment, the sole purpose of that appointment, the goal of it should be to walk away with a client. So you've done an activity. Let's just go down the list. So you've done an activity. Let's say it's an open house. You had somebody sign into your open house. You took their information, you put it into your CRM, you followed up with them, you set an appointment to meet with them. They happen to be a home buyer. You conduct that appointment. You give them the whole spiel about the home buying process in your area. You show value, they see value, they sign a buyer representation agreement with you, and I do recommend that you get those signed. They sign a buyer representation agreement with you. They're now your client. Now you're out there showing them homes. You're showing homes. You're walking them through the process, and those lead to closings. So activities lead to leads. Leads lead to appointments made. Appointments made lead to appointments conducted. Appointments conducted lead to your clients, and your clients lead to your closings. And that repeats itself over and over and over again in your business. And that's it, really. I mean, that was really our business in a nutshell. Now, mastering every single aspect of this is where it becomes important. understanding what activities you're strong at and mastering those activities, how to follow up with leads and set appointments, how to conduct your appointments at a high level to where they see the value and want to work with you, and then taking them out, showing them homes or putting their home on the market and marketing it, negotiating offers and creating closings, right? That is the real estate funnel. If you can understand and implement this into your business, you are going to have a huge advantage over the people in your marketplace. One thing that I don't know if you guys are familiar with Grant Cardone. He's probably one of my favorites. Read all of his books several times, some of them. And one thing that he says that resonates with me is, hey, I don't want to compete. I want to dominate, right? I don't want to compete in my marketplace. I want to dominate my marketplace. And just because I'm winning doesn't mean somebody else has to lose. So for me, I want to master all of this so that I dominate in my marketplace and I don't have to worry about where my business is coming from because I've gotten so good at mastering all of this. So I hope you guys take that with you. So the next thing we'll jump into, which is, I mean, equally as important, is our mindset. So most of us, if we've worked a corporate job or haven't been around people who have started or run successful businesses, we may not have the business mindset yet. We may have a scarcity mindset. We may have some fear that going out and starting this business we may fail. We may even be fearful of success. If you're not, you may experience that when you start to get success. That was my story. Or we may just have a lot of negativity, and that really bleeds through. You know, when you are around somebody or something that is super negative, you could be in a great mood and that negativity is going to consume you. So mindset is extremely important, and so is clarity. And getting clarity comes from focus, and that's why I love this illustration here. Is this lens is just focused in on a very small piece of this picture where everything else outside of it is blurry. It's there, but it's blurry, but the focus is on this one piece and it's absolutely clear. So for us, if we have focus on our goals, focus on our business, focus on our results that we want, then everything else is going to be blurry around us, will be laser focused, and our results are going to be spectacular. There's also um, there's talk in the world on obsession, right? Is obsession good? Is obsession bad? And I believe it really depends on what you're obsessed about. So I believe obsession overall is good. Anybody who's the top notch of whatever they do in whatever industry they're in, sports, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, weightlifting, look up CT Fletcher. He's a good guy to talk about obsession. Real estate, whatever it is, the people that are the absolute best at what they do are thoroughly obsessed with creating success. They're obsessed about being the best at what they do. They're thinking about whatever it is, night and day. They live it, they breathe it. They're obsessed with it. So that's just another mindset, is becoming focused, becoming obsessed, and moving forward towards your goals. So it is critical to get clarity on why you're in the business and what you want your outcome to be. What do you want out of this business? Why are you getting in it? It's important to write that down and really understand. Like for me, when my son had that scholarship, golden opportunity, man, the guy, I mean, they hardly gave out any scholarships compared to those that applied. He got one. And here I am as his father. I did not have the funds and I was not able to co-sign. I couldn't provide for him. You know, the one person in the world that should be able to provide for him at that time wasn't able to. And that was an extreme low for me. So that was the fire under me that lit and gave me the ambition and caused me to have the obsession that I had to go out here and create a different life for my kids. So you have to really define what that is for you, what you want out of it. What does success in real estate look like for you? Is it amount of dollars in the bank? Is it a lifestyle? Is it helping people? What is it? and be honest, because it's you, right? We can be honest with ourselves. At least we should be able to. You don't have to share that with anybody. Be honest, be 100% honest. And then that way, you know what direction to proceed. So the way we think about anything influences not only outcome, but how we handle that thing. So if we go into this real estate business with the mindset, and I see it a lot, of, hey, you know what, this is hard, this is impossible, I can't do this. Most agents fail, which is the reality. If that's where your mindset is, that's the energy you're going to put into it, and that's the outcome you're going to get from it. So it's important to really be careful about the way you think about real estate as a business, you as a person, and your outcome or your potential. It doesn't matter if you failed in the past at things, right? It does not matter at all. I failed at plenty of things. I failed at real estate before. That doesn't matter. What matters is where your mindset is today, how you're going to change, and what you're going to do differently. So, some common failing mindsets that I have seen in real estate agents are, most agents fail, so will I. And that is an average mindset. That's an average mindset, and it's not necessarily true. If true, it's true if you make it a reality, but it doesn't have to be. They were able to succeed above what I can because they're different. Just because somebody is succeeding at a higher level than you are doesn't mean they're different. If you look at what they've done in the past, you would see that they have put in a lot of work to get where they're at. And that's the difference. That is a difference in this industry. These contracts are not rocket science. Being a decent human being and talking to people and being tactful is not rocket science. It's just hard work. And if you look at the super successful people, they have sacrificed time. They have put in the hours. They have been dedicated. They've been focused, laser focused on what they wanted. They've put in their goals and they've shot for them. Whether they reach them or not, they just shoot for them and keep on going. And anybody can really reach that level. I don't want to be a salesperson. I hear that a lot. I'm not a salesperson. Well, I mean, you are, right? Be a salesperson. Embrace being a salesperson. There's nothing wrong with it when you're selling a product that the world needs, right? We get compensated for solving problems. The problems could be, hey, I have a house I need to sell, or I need to go buy a house. I need to rent a house. I need to do both. I need to do all of this. I'm an investor. It doesn't matter what the problem is. It's identifying it and solving it, and we do that through sales. Now, we don't necessarily sell a house. That's what I tell everybody. I really don't necessarily sell a house. I sell a service. So when people come to me and say, hey, Jeremy, we want to interview you to sell our house. Okay, great. And in that moment, what I'm selling is the service that the Smith team offers to get their home sold. That's what I'm selling. I am a salesperson and I embrace that. And the moment you do embrace that, things will change for you. You'll see the value in it. Every product out there has been sold by somebody. So without salespeople, nothing would get to your door. You would not know about all these products. So being a salesperson is actually very honorable. So embrace that. I don't want to bother anyone. I hear that a lot. Don't want to call people at dinner time. And there's a mindset to get you through that. Um, if I do succeed, will I be able to continue that? Right. So that was something that I feared before I left the railroad. Was I was having a ton of success in a short period of time because I put in a lot of work. And then I was like, hey, wait a minute, this is scary. Can I keep this up? What if it doesn't continue? What if I succeed this year and I fail next year? Well, I know if that happens, that is 100% on me because I dictate all of that. So also, I have to be realistic. I hear this all the time when I talk about goals. When I hear people say, hey, I've got a stretch goal and I've got a realistic goal. And I get where they're coming from with it, but I 100% disagree with it. I would rather be completely unreasonable and unrealistic in my goals. And I would rather shoot for that unrealistic goal and fail, because if I set a realistic goal and I hit it, I'm probably going to fall short of where I would be if I set an unrealistic goal and missed it. So I'm going to create more, I'm going to do more, and I'm going to be more by setting unrealistic, outlandish goals, but identifying what work I need to do to get to that goal. I'm going to do way more than setting a realistic goal. Honestly, I've tried both, and for me personally, it is unrealistic goals and outlandish goals that gets me to where I want to be. So I would encourage you to be bold, be unrealistic. Don't listen to other people that are being average and they're, I'm selling 12 homes a year and I'm happy there and that's all you can do. That may be where they're happy. That may be where you're happy, but you have to identify that for you, not anybody else. So here's a quote from Robin Sharma. It says, "What you focus on grows. What you think about expands, and what you dwell upon determines your destiny." So it's very critical to really be mindful of where your purpose is. So think about these things. Is fear of failure consuming your thoughts? Where are you at in your business? Are you just starting? Have you been there for a while? Are you getting ready to leave a full-time career to do real estate full-time? Are you in that transition period? Are you thinking about it? Where are you and what is controlling your thoughts? Is it success thoughts? Is it positive thoughts, or is it fear? And that's a negative emotion. So do you lack confidence and focus on rejection? A lot of people do that a lot. And I think it's normal for us to really have rejection affect us. It still affects me too, and there's the definition of courage is not the lack of fear. It's the pressing on through the fear, even though you're scared, right? And that's the same thing with rejection. I think that there's always going to be a negative emotion associated with rejection, and that's okay. It's good. Let it drive you, but don't let it stop you from going out and taking those risks and talking to those people and doing the things. So if your answer is yes, then you must fix it. You have to fix it in order to overcome it. So the reality of it, this is definitely a hard business. Success in real estate is never guaranteed. It requires hard work. It brings me to another quote. It says success is never owned. It's rented, and the rent is due every single day, right? And it's the same thing in our business. You can get to a level of success, but if you stop working, that success is going to stop appearing. So if your mind is focused on the negatives, you will never be able to project positivity. When I'm around somebody who's negative, I feel it. When you're around somebody who's negative, you feel it. So when you're around clients or you're interviewing for a job, would you prefer to project negativity or would you prefer to project positivity? And do you think that's going to have an outcome on whether or not they want to work with you? I think it does. So if you want your destiny to be success, you have to think successfully. There's no way around that. I read a lot of books, and I would encourage you guys to focus on self-development. And in these books, one of the common themes is a positive mindset, even in the face of negative situations. Always be focused on the positivity. And let's be real, we're not going to be positive 100% of the time, but recognizing when we're not is important so that we can get ourselves out of that and get back into the positive thought process. So how do you create a successful mindset? Something that is easier said than done. So one, eliminate as much negativity as you can. Things have been crazy since March, right? I think we all have been living this life where we see it on social media, we see it on the news. It's doom and gloom. We're stressed out. Everybody's on edge. Elections are coming. We don't know what's going to happen. And we see this over and over again every single day coming from our family and from our friends, from the news sources, all of that. So in order to, a major step in creating a successful mindset is to eliminate the negativity by TV, music, news, and even people. That doesn't mean that you cut somebody out of your life, but you can surely distance. And I've had to do this with several people in my life where the vibe from them was so negative and toxic. I still love them, but I had to create distance because it was wearing on me. Same thing with Facebook. I unfollowed a lot of people since March. They're still my friends, still care for them. We may have different views, but the negativity is so consuming. I had to get rid of it. My daughter is actually doing a project in high school, and their business that they're making is for positive news for teenagers. And they did a poll in their school. There's 300 something participants in the poll, and they were saying, "Hey, who likes good news? Who likes bad news? Or would you watch if there was good news?" So most of the people in there were favoring bad news, and so they asked, "Where are you getting your news from?" and they listed all these resources. And we were going over this just last night with my daughter, and it was TV, it was the news channels, and it was really funny. And I asked her, I said, hey, how much of that affects you? How much? And she said, it really doesn't. Like, I don't know, because we don't have TV in our house. We've got TVs and we've got Netflix and stuff like that that we purposefully go and watch certain shows on, but we don't have the news outlets. We cut all that out because it's so negative. It wasn't doing us any good. So eliminate bad and destructive habits. If there's something that you're doing that's causing you to not be able to flourish, or is causing you some negativity, cut it out. What is that habit? What is that habit that you have? Is it drinking? Is it smoking? Is it drugs? Is it partying? Is it putting things into your mind that are not healthy? Any of that, only you can identify those things for yourself. And in the process of being real with yourself, identify those things and cut them out. Increase positivity. This was a game changer for me when I stopped listening to the radio. I took the antenna off of my truck, and all I listen to are things that I want to listen to. Podcasts, for the most part, audiobooks, and it's all positive. There's a lot of books. We've got a lot of resources for you guys if you guys need some recommendations, but there are a ton of books out there. Industry specific books, sales, negotiations, positivity, motivation, whatever. It's all out there, readily available for you guys at your fingertips. And I recommend you get into that and start using it, because the power of negativity, if underestimated, will really do damage to you and your family and to your business. So get that out of there. Find sources that are positive and life-giving for you, and surround yourself with people who are where you want to be. That's the first thing I did. When I found my mentor, kind of by accident on Facebook, I delved into him and his program. And I'm still friends today with a bunch of people who are in it. So I'm surrounding myself with like-minded individuals who have similar goals. They've all cut out negativity. They're all super positive. We all deal in reality. We all want to succeed at very high levels, and our energy is amazing. So I mean, when we get together, before COVID, it was twice a year. We get together, it's like a rejuvenation, and then we go back to our homes, and we go back to our businesses, and things just blow up. And it's because we're surrounding ourselves with people who are supportive, who are positive, and not bringing us down. So working out, it's a proven scientific fact that exercise increases endorphins in your body. Endorphins make you feel good. So for me, my workouts are in the morning. I wake up at about 4:15 a.m. I'm at the gym by 5 a.m. on most days of the week, and I'm working out. What that does for me, it makes me feel good about myself, right? I want to be able to look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm in good shape. I feel great. If I got to take my shirt off to go to the pool, I feel great there too. And those endorphins really help kick off my morning. So once I get home, I'm probably the most productive I am all day long once I've worked out. So working out is going to make you feel good. It's going to give you those endorphins. And let's be honest, it's going to help you with your health. If we don't have our health, then we don't have success in our business. That's just one of the aspects of it. So focus on your health so that you can continue to work in your business and create success and help others. So let's go into goals. So setting goals is absolutely critical. I've talked to people who don't have goals, and I really don't understand it, because you have no aim. So you should have goals, a quote by Grant Cardone, you should have goals so big that your problems pale in comparison. And this is the unrealistic goal setting that I'm talking about. In my first year, I remember, I'll never forget this. There was a guy in our brokerage, the number one guy. We were at a baseball game. He was sitting behind me. And I turned to him and I said, hey, how are you doing this? How are you doing so well? I'm a part-time agent. Do you have any advice for me? And he didn't really want to talk. He didn't really have time of day. I was just a peon. I just started my business, and I was the new guy as a peon. So I told him, I said, hey, my goal is to sell 60 homes this year. And he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, are you serious? 60 homes? And I was like, yeah. And I felt this big. Like I felt like I was doing something wrong by setting this goal. he says, yeah, full-time agents don't even do that. So it's like, wow, okay, well, that was pretty negative, but it was a challenge. So that's where my goal was. I want to sell 60 homes because he said I couldn't. So I didn't do it. I didn't do it, but I sold 41 homes. And most full-time agents don't even do that. So I set that extreme goal. I pushed for it. I did the work needed to get to it. I did not make it. But had I said, you know what, he's right, let me sell 20 homes, I would have hit 20 homes and I would have been okay. But I hit 41 homes. And that year, I had given myself 5 years to accumulate $150,000 in the bank so that I could leave my job and have 1.5 years worth of my salary. So I did that in 10 months. By shooting for that crazy goal, I hit that big goal, that 5-year goal, in 10 months. If I had thought small or thought average, I never would have done that. So set goals so big that your problems pale in comparison to what you're aiming for with your business and in your life. So what type of goals should you set? Well, first of all, family comes first. So you should be setting goals for family and your most important relationships. So for me, my goal is I want to be an amazing husband to my wife. I want to be an amazing father to my 4 children. That's my number one goal. I'm always thinking, how can I get better? How can I be more patient? How can I be a better influencer? How can I guide them, especially in these times? How can I guide them in a way that they want to follow my lead? Not that it's forced, because that, excuse me, that we can get that as well, but it's more, I think it's more effective if they want to do it. So how do I get to there? That's always a focus of mine. So setting goals for family is super important. You're going to need to set goals for your business, measurable goals, crazy, insane, unreachable goals. Set them for your business and measure them out. Set goals for yourself. Constantly be improving. Goals for education, goals for fitness. How many times do you want to exercise a week? Set that goal. What accreditations do you want to get? What do you want to master? For me, I love mastering or working towards mastery on negotiations. There's a book out there by a guy named Chris Voss called Never Split the Difference. It's one of my favorite books ever. And I really focus on negotiating. That is one of my strong points because I've made it an effort and a goal to master that. So setting goals for your family, for your business, for yourself, for your spirituality, if that is something that's important to you, what do you want that to look like? Set goals for all aspects of your life that are important to you. So this takes time, guys. I mean, it takes a dedication for you to sit down and be honest with yourself, honest with your family, and identify these things. Like, what aspects of your life are important? These are just 4 common ones, but there could be other things. I mean, you could want to be a philanthropist. You could want to go out there and help people and volunteer your time and money. And of course, obviously, the more money you have, the more people you can help, right? So your business goals would also be tied to your philanthropy goals. It could be whatever is important to you. You have to set goals in each one of those different categories of your life. So when you set goals, how do you reach them? This is important. And it's not a secret, but a lot of people don't know it. So one, you got to define them. If it's a weight loss goal, if it's a strength goal, if it's a business goal, a relationship goal. Like when I set my goal, I wanted to close 60 transactions my first year. So I defined that goal, right? So that was a goal that I said that's what I wanted to do. So in every aspect, this is what you guys need to do. Get a piece of paper and write down, hey, this is my goal for my business, for my family, for my health, whatever. Write it down. Write those goals down. Then that's defining them. Step 1. Step 2, list what's keeping you from reaching that goal. What is stopping you from selling 60 homes? What is stopping you from losing that weight or gaining that strength or running a little bit faster or getting out of bed 4 times a week to go work out? What is stopping you from those things? Sometimes it's mindset. Sometimes it's actual physical things. Sometimes it's because you just don't know how to do it. That was my thing. One of my goals was to leave the railroad. Big goal of mine in the very beginning, leave the railroad and become full-time in real estate. Well, one of my answers, what's keeping me from doing is I didn't have enough money in the bank. I didn't have enough clients or enough people that knew that I did real estate in order to hire me. There was a lot of things that were on that list as far as being obstacles. So identify what's keeping you from reaching any of those goals, and then outline what you must do to get rid of whatever's in the way. And going back to that example of me leaving the railroad, it was, hey, I need $150,000 in the bank. Well, what's standing in the way? A lack of $150,000 in the bank. But if I break that down, it's not enough people know about me. I don't have enough closings. I don't have the experience that I need. I don't know how um, to get a listing. If I go and I compete with other agents, I don't know how to make sure that I'm the one that's chosen. I don't know how to market these properties. I don't know how to talk to a buyer and show them that this house is the right house for them. It checks all their boxes, even though they're scared to make the move. Like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to talk to other agents and negotiate effectively. There's so many things I didn't know, and I had to write all of them down, because without identifying what it is that's in the way, there's no way that we can know to fix it. So then you got to take action. So you identify those things and you take whatever action that you need to take. If it's getting up in the morning, set alarms. I still have that issue because I love comfort. You know, I love being in my bed, and when the alarm goes off at 4:15, I'm not waking up. So I have 5 alarms every 2 minutes, and they snooze and they go back off every 3 minutes. So my phone is pretty much constant wake up. And then I'm worried about my wife waking up because my alarms are going off because I'm not getting out of bed. So that drives me. So make sure that you write down your action steps as well. You've identified your goals. You've identified what's keeping you from reaching your goals. You've identified what you need to do to eliminate those things. And now you've got to take action. It's got to be purposeful. It's got to be focused. So Tony Robbins, you've probably all heard about him, says the path to success is to take massive, determined actions. And that cannot be more true. In my business, one thing that I can say, and I know a lot of people around in my marketplace know this about me, is I am crazy about taking action. I'm quick to implement new things, and I will work and outwork anybody for the most part. I do have lazy days, I'm not gonna lie. But for the most part, I'm going to take so much action that people cannot help but know who I am, know what I do, and have a favorable opinion of us, because we're taking massive action all the time. And that is the differentiator between me and somebody else who's been in the business just as long as I have. I've got other people that were in the same classes that I was in when I first started at Remax, and they are no longer in the business, or maybe they're selling a few homes a year, and I have all this success. And the difference is the structure. I learned all of this that I'm showing you guys at a young age, relatively speaking, in my business, and I put it together. So massive action, being a determined action, is critical. So that is really it for the class, guys. But I want to give you the bonus. I told you I was going to share a script with you guys that I used. In 1 hour, this script resulted in 6 closings, and that is no lie. And I can show you all of them. I'm still friends. I still have some of these clients. So, and it's going to result in more closings because they're going to sell houses and buy houses down the road. So, in just 1 hour of work, this script, this door knocking script, landed me six closed transactions. So remember the real estate sales funnel. Door knocking is an activity. It led me to getting leads, which then led me to setting appointments, which then led me to getting clients, and those clients led to 6 closings. So let me share this script with you guys. If you have your camera, you could take a photo of this. You could write it down, however you want to do it. So this script can also be used for open houses. It could be used for just solds. This particular one that I have here is used for a coming soon listing, which is the scenario that I was in when I got these clients that resulted in the 6 transactions. So I just listed a house. We hadn't put it on the market yet, but we were going to. So I said, I'm gonna go around the neighborhood, tell everybody about it. Maybe somebody knows somebody who wants to move into the neighborhood. And here is my script. So I go to the door, I knock. Somebody answers. a key to this too is my positioning. Like I'll back up, I'll have a smile, be very, very neutral, right, in my stance, not aggressive, not rude, not salesy. So they answer the door and it's, hey, good afternoon, sir, ma'am. My name is Jeremy. I'm a local realtor. I am not here to solicit your business, try to get you to sell your house. I do want to give you a quick heads up. I'm placing your neighbor's home on the market tomorrow. And because we do a ton of advertising for our listings, even because they hit the market, we do expect to have a big turnout within the first few days. The market's hot. We're seeing a lot of people out here with low inventory. I wanted to make you aware. So if you see any cars driving slowly through the neighborhood, that you're not necessarily alarmed. And of course, stay vigilant, but most likely they're just looking for the home that we have listed, your neighbor's home. And then I sit there and wait for their response, even if it gets awkward. And then most of the time it's, okay, yeah, thank you for that. Sometimes it's, oh, wow, nobody's ever told us that. So we do that and they say, okay, thanks. Let's just say that that's the response. Oh, you're very welcome. And while I'm here, a couple things. I promised, I don't think I have it on here. While I'm here, I promised my clients that I would ask all the neighbors that I talked to, do you know anybody who's looking to move into the area that may like this house? No, we don't. Okay, great. Also, once a month, we send out a market update report with the most up-to-date real estate information for your area, including what homes are for sale, what homes have sold, what homes have not sold, average price per square foot, and a bunch of additional tips to help homeowners. It comes out once a month. It's our way of helping our community stay up to date on their investment. I know you're most likely not even considering a move at this point, but I would love to get you on the list. What's a good email address for you? And that is the key right there to not asking, can I have your email address or would you like to be on the list? And I learned this the hard way because that's what I was doing. I was saying, hey, can I put you on the list or would you like this email? And of course, the easy answer to that is a 2-letter word called no, right? So I would just give the layup to them to say no. But when I flipped it and I made what we call an assumptive close, hey, I'd love to get you on the list. What's a good email address for you? Now email addresses come, right? Because it catches them off guard. They're not really expecting that question. And a lot of times they'll tell you the email address, even if they give you a fake one, at least they told you something, right? So make sure you have a pen and paper so you can write it down. And what I like to do is I'll write down the email address. I'll say, thank you very much. There's going to be an unsubscribe button. If for some reason you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. We won't be spamming you, once a month only. And if you have any questions, my contact information will be on there. Have a great day. Walk away. When I walk away, I write down the address so that I know that, hey, the owner of this address gave me their email information. Then I can look up in taxes and get the first and last name, add them into my database, put a tag on them inside my CRM so that I know who I got that lead from or when I got that lead where, and then set them up on the market update. Super simple. From that one day, 6 closed transactions, and I've closed countless from doing this same script on other days. Even people that I've closed a year or two afterwards, after meeting them, because they were getting those emails, they knew how to contact me. So, and then yeah, there is that question I put at the bottom there about asking about the if they knew anybody looking to move into the neighborhood. So just depends on what order you want to do it in. So that is a script, guys. It works extremely well. So give it a try. See if it's something that fits for you. Of course, take it, make it your own, flip it however you want, put your verbiage on there. Um, and then also want to thank you guys for hopping on the webinar. If you guys want more information, I do weekly mentor sessions. Shoot me an email, info@smithteamdfw.com. If you're looking for a brokerage that's going to give you support in your growing business and provide you with multiple revenue streams, I can help you with more information on that. We'll be doing this again next Friday with a totally different topic. Next Friday, we're going to go in depth on lead generation activities. So I do have a YouTube channel. It's Fort Worth, Texas Real Estate with Jeremy Smith. I do put a lot of helpful videos for real estate agents on there as well. So subscribe to the channel. As always, your feedback is greatly appreciated. So if you have any feedback, any suggestions, how I can make this better for you guys, again, info@smithteamdfw.com. That comes to me and my wife. We'd be more than happy to answer all of your questions and give any or listen to any feedback you have and adjust accordingly. So now, for those of you that are still here, looks like everybody, let's go ahead and jump into Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing, pull up the chat, see if there are any questions. There are no open questions. And let's see, how could you leverage if you don't have a coming soon listing? Yeah, great question, Molly. So to leverage, if you do not have a coming soon listing, you can do open house, you can do just sold. If your brokerage has a just sold in the neighborhood, you can use that. If there are any agents that you know at your brokerage or even outside your brokerage and you get permission, you can use that. I mean, you just got to be creative, but you can definitely find a lot of other options, a lot of other reasons to door knock. I mean, and you could even cut it down to, hey, look, I'm here to just to give you this. I'm here, and that's what I did in the very beginning. I just created a because I didn't have anybody that I knew, no coming soons, no nothing. So I created a postcard that I had a local printer print up, and it was just a market update. And I would take that around. Hey, here's a market update. Just want to introduce myself. My name is Jeremy. I'm a new realtor in the area. Blah blah blah. Here's my market update. I also send these out on email. We'll love to put you on the list. What's a good email address for you? Same thing. Just got to be creative. But great question. Am I still door knocking with COVID? Yes, yes, for sure. Just stand back. Most people are receptive, and everybody's at home. So it's a really good opportunity to door knock. Something that I've learned though is that everybody's got the Ring doorbells or video doorbells. If you knock on their door and do not ring their doorbell, they're going to put you on blast on their neighborhood Facebook page. So ring the doorbell, address it, talk into the doorbell, be super cool, never be pushy or anything like that because they will blast you on Facebook. So make sure that if there's a no soliciting side, go ahead and honor that. Don't knock on the door. But if they don't have it, just be super cool with them. Even during COVID, just take some steps back, and people are actually pretty understandable. Molly, I want to door knock my neighborhood, but honestly, I'm being a chicken. Ha! Yes, I understand. So that is fear, Molly. That's fear. So that is fear of several things, most likely. It's probably fear of rejection, maybe some fear of success, and maybe you don't know what to say. You're nervous. So this is something that is really difficult to get through, and it's really understanding why you do what you do, right? Understanding who you're in business for, and being clear on that. Because one thing that's helped me get through that fear is knowing that my kids are depending on me. I've got to show them a rags to riches story. They got to be able to look at my history and look at my future and say, wow, dad did amazing things, therefore I can too. So if I allow my fear of what somebody I don't even know is going to think, then I have to answer for that. When my kids are like, dad, how come you didn't, how come you couldn't pay for my college, or how come you couldn't buy me a new car? How come this, or how come that? Why don't we go on vacations? And you can't come visit me now that I'm, stationed in another state because you don't have the finances. Well, it's because I let my fear of how this person was going to think of me keep me from going out there and doing the activities that I know I needed to do to be successful. So that's probably the best advice I could give you, Molly, is just understand why you're doing the business and pick your pain. We all have pain in this business and in life in general, but the cool thing about real estate is we get to choose our pain. Either it's pain of not being able to reach your goals, or it's the pain of somebody slamming a door in your face. To me, I'd rather than slam the door in my face. That pain is there, but it's super temporary. If I don't reach my goals and my business fails, then that's a long-lasting pain, and I know for sure because I've experienced it. So hope that helps. But yeah, just be super clear on why you're doing what you're doing it. Let's see, Renee. Will this recording be shared? I don't know. It's being recorded. I'm not sure if I'm going to share it yet. I guess that's part of my fear. Another thing too is I want to definitely reward those of you who took the time to get on the webinar. So Long story short, I do not know. Email me at info@smithteamdfw.com and convince me to share it. Let's see. What else? Does anybody else? Oh, there's some Q&A questions there. Okay, so Jeff is asking, what is the best way to figure out what your ideal area is as far as your criteria? I think it really depends on the goals. It's all going to boil back to the goals, Jeff. So for me, it was very convenient for me to door knock and farm in the area that I lived in. Very convenient. In that area right now, I have like between a 15 and 20% market share in that community. I sell about 20 to 25 homes a year in that particular neighborhood. So it was proximity for me. It was the amount of homes sold. What's the turnover rate in the area, where this one's about 12%. And it was, is there any agent currently dominating that market? It's not me. So if the answer is there's somebody dominating, I'm probably not going to start there. I may eventually take that over and dominate it, but probably not going to start there. I'm going to look for the path of least resistance when I'm new. So I hope that answers the question. I'm not sure if that's what you meant by ideal area, but if it is, I would say where you're most comfortable, what's closest to you that you know the best. One thing that was hard for me was price point. Like I was very comfortable in the under $300,000 price point. It took me some confidence building to get up to being comfortable in the fours and fives. And now it doesn't matter. Like $1 million, $2 million, 800,000, 100,000. I got it. I got it all. Like there's nothing I can't do. So it took a while for me to get there. So I hope that answers your questions. If not, shoot me an email or hit me up on Messenger. Do I have a brokerage suggestion for new agents for mentor and training and career purposes? Absolutely, Natasha. I am super biased. I am not going to lie. I came over to EXP in 2018 after a year and a half of badgering by one of my best friends, Mickey Cavazos. I was super skeptical. Now that I'm here, I'm a certified mentor with EXP, and EXP has been the absolute most innovative brokerage, especially for new agents. And the reason why I say that is because the training is all online. It's live or recorded. There's a ton of resources. EXP is in all 50 states. So when you're getting training, you're not just getting training from an agent in a particular brokerage from a particular area. It's training from successful agents all over the country. And what I realized at my brokerage at Remax was that the person doing the in-person training at that brokerage was somebody who failed as an agent. I mean, really understand. It was somebody who would try to be an agent. It didn't work for them. They got a salary position at this brokerage, and their job was to train other agents. Well, it hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, you failed, and you're trying to tell me how to do this, but you failed at it. So I don't want to learn from you because you failed. So I want to learn from somebody who's successful. That's the beautiful thing about EXP is all the training is done by agents that are actually in the business doing it now. I've got several mentees, and I always ask them, how are things going as a new agent? How's the onboarding process? I've got another one coming on this week, and they just love it. The training is, you can do it from wherever you're at in the world. It's innovative. It's technology based. The splits are amazing. And that shouldn't really be a main focus of a new agent. It should be, where am I going to get training and mentorship so I could build this foundation outright? We're able to sponsor agents in any state. So I'm in Texas. I have agents that I've sponsored in Illinois, Florida, Colorado, North Carolina, California, all over the place. So if you're looking for somebody to sponsor you, Natasha, would definitely love to talk to you and show you how we can help you not only get on board with EXP and get dialed into the training in the community, but also start your business and build it the right way. Cool thing about EXP is a sponsor who sponsors an agent has a vested interest in that agent's success. And I can explain more of that to you as well. So the more you succeed, or whoever, if you come to EXP, whoever sponsors you should be somebody that can help you actually grow your business and become super successful, and do that quickly, because that agent will benefit from that as well. Looks like whoever's on their Galaxy phone. Absolutely. Do I feel that the brokerage you choose contributes to your success as an agent? Yes and no. I feel that as an agent starting out, the right support and the right training is critical. You've also got to be coachable, so that's important as well. But yes, to the sense that a new agent should be somewhere where they're going to get the support and the guidance that they need. It's super critical. As you grow and become an expert in what you're doing, it's not super critical where you're at as far as if you're going to be successful. It then becomes a business decision. And that's where I was in 2017, where I had already made success. I had proven it over a couple of years. I knew I was good. I knew I could do this no matter what brokerage I was at. It now became a sense of, hey, if I'm switching my mindset to that of a business person, where can I go? What brokerage will provide me the most opportunity to make the most amount of money? And hands down, that was EXP. So, for instance, there's a thing called revenue share with EXP. I don't do a lot of recruiting, but I make about $2,000 a month, so $24,000 a year. I make in revenue share, which is just sponsoring other agents and helping them grow. Also, there's a stock program. I became Icon agent in July, and this is my third year with the company. 3 year as an Icon agent. Hit Icon in July, and at the time the stocks were worth $17 a share. Well, when you hit Icon agent, EXP gives you back your cap, which is 16,000. They give it back to you in the form of company stocks. So that stock was worth $17 a share. They gave me $16,000 worth of that. As of this morning, our stock is about $54 a share. So when I'm looking at it from a business sense now, I make $24,000 a year from revenue share, plus all the money that I make on the stock. I'm in the six-figure range every single year that's coming from the brokerage into my bank account. So it is by far, hands down, the best business decision. Um, so I hope that answers the question there. Yes, it makes a difference when you first start out. Eventually, it doesn't really make that big of a difference when you become super successful. It then the focus just changes to what is the most profitable place and the most conducive place for my business and my culture. So let's see. Awesome. Yep, got Molly's question answered, Natasha's question answered. I don't have any more questions in the Q&A box. Let's see. All right. If nobody else has anything, I will go ahead and end this, guys. Thank you guys again for showing. This is actually the first time I've done a webinar, so I was super excited. I'm glad you couldn't hear my music before I started this thing because I'm listening to hype music, get myself hyped up. So hope you guys found value. I hope we were able to deliver some things that would resonate with you guys and help you in your business. Um, Oh, sorry, Renee. I apologize. She heard my music, and you guys all probably heard it. My bad. Um, just keeping it real, I guess. Um, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Have a great day. Don't hesitate to let me know if there's anything I can do for you guys, anything you need, and I'll be posting or sending you guys out another link for next Friday if you want to jump on that. So y'all have a great weekend. Let's see. Yeah. All right, guys. Take care. Bye bye.